Temperate rainforests are really fragile habitats, and they really need particular conditions in order to be healthy. So temperate rainforests grow and occur across the western seaboard of the British Isles, which is an area of really high rainfall. They're also referred to as oceanic woodlands because of the importance of the interaction between the coastal climate and the woodland habitat. So these are habitats which need this constant rainfall coming off the sea, creating these really humid, damp climates, and that humidity is really held in by the woodland canopy and by the ravines along which the rivers flow. So it's the climate, the weather meeting the topography, which really makes a rainforest.
At Plant Life we do lots of work on temperate rainforest. We work a lot with landowners, particularly people that manage temperate rainforest sites, around trying to encourage them to manage for the lichens, the bryophytes in particular.
The Plant Life team have come today to do a translocation of 2 different lichens. I have no idea how it's going to go. I'm feeling really excited about it.
It's basically a rescue mission to try and keep these important species of lichen on this site, otherwise they're just going to be lost. There's one of them which is a kind of a brown leafy lichen, which is known as a stinky sticter, and they're called stinky sticters because they smell of fish, they smell of slightly rotting fish.
It's sort of like briny, I think. There's like a saltiness to it.
I feel like you're really romanticising it.
I haven't eaten fish in years. It's like coastal almost.
It smells delicious.
And the other species that we're going to transplant is called the black-bordered shingle lichen. It's just slightly experimental. It's important to do this because basically we're going to lose them from this site with the ash tree so badly infected with ash dieback. There's every chance it will die. If it dies, the bark falls off. If the bark falls off, the lichens go with it.
People are really interested in this because we've got quite a few rare species and unusual species here, we're all very protective and we want to make sure they survive. And the idea that we can actually increase the number of trees that are able to support some of these species by translocation, people are pretty fascinated by it. And it's not something we've ever done before collectively. So it's a real experiment, but hopefully an experiment that we can repeat with other species in the future as well.
It grows really tightly pressed onto the bark, so we're just going to have to try and ease it off the bark by just scraping the kind of top layer of the bark with it really. So try and find the bit that we're going to take, and that looks like a good bit. So we're just going to very gently try and scrape that top layer of the bark. So yeah, it'd be great to see what happens with this one. It is one of the species that we have a particular responsibility internationally for in Britain, and it does really like ash trees. I wouldn't be surprised if most of the population in Britain is on ash trees somehow, so we kind of need to have an answer for it really, so it'd be great to see how it does. This is the other species of lichen that we're going to move. This is the stinky sticter, the one that smells of fish. There's quite a bit of young stuff on this trunk here, but the most of it is over on this spread of trunk here above the river. It's going to be slightly harder to get to, but we just start by taking some of these little lobes off here, and this is much easier, much more straightforward than the black-bordered shingle lichen. And we've done translocations with this species before. We kind of know it works pretty well, basically because it has this kind of fuzz underneath, which is kind of like Velcro, which is what attaches it to the tree. We're going to take this lichen onto another tree and we're going to attach it as best we can, and then the lichen will carry on growing and it'll spread off the little bit of bark that it's been moved with onto the bark of the tree we just moved it onto. So one of the most important things, probably the most important thing, is that you find the right kind of place to put the lichen from where it's come from. So you need similar bark chemistry, bark conditions to the ash tree. And this hazel, they have similar bark chemistry to ash trees. They're quite alkaline bark. So that makes it a good thing to start with. Then this species likes these kind of leaning limbs where you start to get a little bit of moss growing. So that's why we've chosen this limb. It's also on the edge of the glade here, so this big beech tree come down which has created this nice open glade. so that it's getting plenty of light into this hazel as well. So basically it's got the right kind of conditions for this lichen.
So the net is to help the lichen stick onto the tree. So we're going to secure it with the netting over the top and then staple it in each corner so that the lichen can't go anywhere. And then hopefully that will just secure it enough so that it can then start to attach to the new substrate and start growing.
These lichens are so sensitive, they're so niche, their requirements. Sometimes the translocation won't work, and so we need to be doing this and trialing it in different ways as much as possible and sharing that information once, you know, a year later, 5 years later, 10 years later even, to see which methods worked. And share that information with other conservationists around the world so that we can keep on trying to help these very rare species.
Okay, so that's the lichen in its new home. We'll just have to see how it goes over time, but I'm pretty hopeful here. It's in a good spot, it's on the right kind of tree.
I think it's going to be wonderful to see if we can, you know, get this translocation to work, and yeah, hopefully we can all come and have a look in a few months.